Hey you guys, how you doing? This is Jake over here at the Green Lake Gym, and first of all I want to congratulate everybody for signing up for the 6-week spring challenge. It's our first time doing it, and at least with this particular type of setup. So I'm really excited to see how everything goes, and I know it's really quick. We threw it up on at you guys really fast, and so I'm actually impressed that we have nearly 40 people. Maybe by the end of today we'll have over 40 people. So anyway, so I'm excited about that. Let me just kind of go over a little bit about the challenge with you. So week 1, we're just going to be focusing on going without any sugar. So no sugar, and try to cut back on processed foods and really get your diet focused. And so whether you're doing the zone, the paleo, using the macros, just try to work on your diet this week, get it under control, because you want to be able to go the entire 30 days, and that's going to be very important, because dieting is going to be a big piece of this whole entire operation. Okay, so we're going to have Marlena here pretty soon, and she's going to go over the macro diet for you guys, and how we are going to put that together. And so then from there, we're going to take a fitness test, and it's going to be a very simple one. It's a 1-mile run, and when you come back in, you rest as much as you can, and then you're going to do max push-ups for 1 minute, take a 1-minute rest, and then repeat that, and then you're going to do 2-minute rest, and then you're going to do sit-ups. And so we're going to go sit-ups for 1 minute, and then 1-minute rest, and repeat, and then a 2-minute rest, and then we're going to go into squats, so air squats. We're going to do max 1 minute, and then take a 1-minute rest, and then repeat that. And you're going to take all those scores, put them up on your scorecard, and so that you have it to look back on when you finish the challenge. Okay, and then make sure that you got your in-body test done. The in-body is going to be rotating around the gyms, and so I think tomorrow it's going to be at the Bellevue gym, and so today's Sunday. It's the kickoff day, end of registration. The kickoff actually is tomorrow, is tomorrow. So in-body is going to be over in Bellevue, and then try to get on the scale, get yourself tested there as soon as possible, and then take your before photo. And so you could do, obviously this is something you could do in private or whatever, but try to get good before photos, front, side, rear, just like we had in the initial sheet that we sent out, information sheet. And then of course the last one is identify your weaknesses or a challenge that you're having in a gym that you want to work on for these next 30 days. So that's it, and we want to make sure you guys get kicked off with all the information you need. If anybody has any questions, you can reach me at info@nwcrossfit.com, or you can just simply go onto the Facebook 6-week spring NWCF 6-week spring challenge. Everyone should have gotten a link by now, and you can ask away. Ask as many questions you want. Coach Lamar and Jason and Paul and myself are on there right now. I anticipate more of the coaching staff will get on there, and so ask away. This is going to be an open forum. It's going to be great. You guys, I want you guys to feel like you got a lot of support. Any resource you need, let us know. If we don't know, we will find someone who does know. Okay, and so particularly with diets, we don't like to tell everybody that we're dietitians, nutritionists. We're not. We're fitness trainers, and we want to make sure that you guys understand we're not professional dietitians or nutritionists. We can only help guide you along, and that's about it. Okay, and so so macro dieting doesn't require us to be a dietitian, nutritionist to give out that information. But anything that's specific to you, I really encourage you to seek out a nutritionist or a dietitian to help you along if you feel like you need some extra help. Okay, so that's it. If anybody has any questions, again, you can reach us on the forum. Thank you very much, and congratulations again. Let's do the best we can. It's only 30 days. We can do this, okay? And I'm with Marlena here. It's Coach M, if you guys want to reach out to her. And she is a macro expert, okay? Not a licensed dietitian or anything like that, but she does have the credentials to take everybody and lead everybody through this macro process, okay? So we're gonna ask her a couple of questions here, some basic stuff. And so the very first one I'm just gonna ask for some of you that might be new to this is, what is the macro diet? What does it mean?
So, you know, I've been teaching how to calculate macros for about 6 or 7 years to people from all walks of life, athletes, you know, stay-at-home mom, and I call them fitness clients as well as lifestyle clients. And that's differentiators. There are bodybuilders, powerlifters, right? So there's a different approach for each person, right? So if you're in a position where you just want to get started on something and you want some guidance, some real basic stuff to get you on a path towards success and getting, you know, meeting your athletic goals or meeting your fitness goals, then it's going to be a lot more simple for you. Now, if you're an athlete or you're actually competing as a, you know, bodybuilder, a lot more complex. So just the basics and the fundamentals are, you are literally on a daily basis calculating the amount of protein that you're taking in, and it's in grams. Number two, you're calculating the amount of carbohydrates, or carbs most people refer to them as, in grams, as well as your fats. Those are the 3 different macronutrients, which is, by the way, the reason it's called macros.
All right.
Is it's a short
number.
Exactly. Yeah, it's an acronym, and it's something that's just been popularized out there by gyms and athletes and people that are in the mode of wanting to make sure that their meal plan is correct or is accurate based on their goals.
Sure. All right. Awesome. And so how does that play a role if someone was to do, say, the paleo diet versus like the zone diet? Does it change anything, or is it similar?
That's a great question. Yeah. Anybody can use whatever diet or food choices or food selections that they want, but counting the macros in relationship to what they're eating in their meal plan, as well as tracking them, those are 2 different things, okay? Knowing what your actual macronutrient intake needs to be, there's 3 variables. And this is something I teach, by the way, every single week on a webinar that you're welcome to. It's free. And you can listen to that webinar over and over again. It's been videoed as well. I do a live broadcast. So,
and we'll get the link for that and post that up for everybody.
Absolutely. And you all have all rights and all access to that. So, number 1 variable is what your body composition is right now. And if you have just recently had your in-body measurements taken, the number 1 number that I pay attention to, well, actually there's 2 numbers. The first one is your dry lean mass. Then the second one is your SMM, which stands for skeletal muscle mass. And the reason for that is because we need to know how much you have right now in tissue on your person that we need to feed. Yes, we're also feeding nutrients to your bones. Obviously, we're feeding nutrients to your blood. But if you're an athlete or you have some goals to, let's say, reduce the amount of time it takes you to do a mile or do more push-ups or what have you, your objective when you're eating and your thought process needs to be, I want to fuel my fitness. By the way, that's a class that I teach. It's called Fuel Your Fitness. The intention of the food is to actually make sure that you are empowered, enabled, and have the physiological capability to perform those exercises on a much higher level. So the number 1 variable, like I said, is your body composition. So since you're having the in-body test done at one of the gyms, what you'll want to do is pay attention to your dry lean muscle mass as well as your skeletal muscle mass, your SMM. We're going to actually use that number as a reference point to calculate how much you're supposed to be eating of protein, carbs, and fats. The second variable is your intensity of your workouts on a daily basis. You're being assigned some WODs, you're being assigned some workouts, you already know what you're going to be doing on a particular day. You need to also adjust your macronutrient calculation based on the intensity of your workout. And one of the metaphors that I use is if you're going to drive to Bellingham, it's a long way, you better fill up your gas tank. But if you're only driving to Bellevue, you don't necessarily have to fill it up. You can probably get away with going across the bridge with, quarter of a tank, not run out. But if you decide to put only a quarter of a tank of gas and drive to Bellingham, you're in trouble. Right. So you've got to treat your body the same way. You've got to make sure not to overeat as well. So in other words, you don't want to eat for a day. You're supposed to work out twice that day, but then not work out at all.
Right.
Okay.
And where does calories come into this?
Good question. Another good question. So What I do, and many of the clients that I work with on a daily basis, is I say to them, calories do count, but it's healthy, nutrient-dense calories in comparison to just the counting of calories. In other words, I have a really high caloric intake personally. So if you looked at what I eat on a daily basis, you'd be like blown away that I'm eating 2,500 calories. You look at my frame and you're like, where the heck does she put it all? Well, guess what? It's because I'm dense. So if you see my SMM, it's pretty high for somebody my frame. I have some really extremely dense muscle for somebody my size and have very low body fat. So in essence, yes, the calories is something that you want to pay attention to, but really the only reason and purpose for you to pay attention to it is to make sure that those calories are nutrient-dense calories and not empty calories. And you know, we already covered that on the board there. Jake already mentioned what things that you want to start kind of eliminating from your diet in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and then really get rid of it altogether if you can. Sugar is a great example. It's an empty calorie. It's not going to help you create lean muscle mass.
Right. And so where does someone go for themselves? Like they go, okay, that's great, Coach M, but what about me? Like, where do I start? Like, how do I figure out, okay, I got the InBody test. Now, where do I go to learn about the macros and how I calculate them out and whatnot? Where do you suggest that we go from here?
So the video that you have access to will help you. And again, watch it over and over again. I've had people tell me the first time it went right over their head. The second time they started getting it. You should be able to watch a 15-minute or half-an-hour video that I've taught over and over again and be able to actually determine your macros from the video.
Oh, okay, good. So
Yep.
So that's the answer right there. So we'll post this link up to the webinar tonight, okay? And then it's up to you to get a half an hour set aside and hammer through that video and learn how to do your own macro accounting.
Exactly. The other piece is remember that regardless of what food choices that you make, paleo, zone, some people are vegan. They can't eat or prefer not to eat meat.
Sure.
Whatever food choices or style or approach that you want to use, regardless of the foods that you choose, make sure that you are in fact calculating your macros so that you are calculating it in accordance to what your goals are and what your current body composition is. One more variable I want to talk about that I cannot skip, and you'll learn this in the video in greater detail. There's 3 body types, and some scientists believe this to be really unproven, but after working with about 3,000 people in the last 7 years, I think it's working for us because we have a huge success rate. So I want to talk about body type, and the body type really is more applicable or really transferable in the medical community as metabolic rate. You have what's called a basal metabolic rate. As you get in better shape, your metabolic rate will improve. In other words, your ability to burn fat will increase. So if your basal metabolic rate is really low and your objective is to become more athletic, more fit, then you're going to improve your basal metabolic rate by just simply working out more efficiently, more effectively. How does that affect your macros? Well, here you go. Some people that are their body type is genetically predisposed to staying lean all year. I call those the naturally thin people. Those people that you kind of hate, but they're nice people, okay?
I know what they are.
But you kind of want to kick them because they stay lean all year. They have a six-pack all the time without even trying. But hey, there is a bad side. They don't gain muscle as fast because they're constantly lean. So I call the fitness community calls that segment of people ectomorphs. You may have heard that term somewhere. The next term that they use is endomorph. That's somebody that's either apple-shaped or pear-shaped. They're a little fruity. So the pear-shaped people have their heavy-bottomed, not really round glutes, huge, ginormous legs, and kind of, skinnier or thinner, leaner top. And then some people hold all of their fat around the middle. They're apple-shaped, okay? Those are endomorphs, slower metabolism, but they have the ability at the same time to gain muscle mass really fast, but they also gain fat along with the muscle mass.
Got it.
Last type is somebody who is extremely athletic. They're called mesomorphs or mesomorphic body types. They're hourglass figure. They have a six-pack all year long, but they're super fast. They move anything, you give them a ball and they know what to do with it. They're naturally inclined to amazing athleticism, and they typically have broad shoulders and thick legs, but they always have a thin middle. You've probably seen those people. They literally are, they look perfect. They're genetically perfect.
Yeah. Coach Lamar, Jason, we know the
You have a few, okay?
Yeah.
Not me, that's for sure. I'm an apple. So, the reason that that's significant, and you've got to know which body type you are, and you will know because you just have to look at your parents. You are likely one or a combination of both of your parents, or maybe even a combination of one of your grandparents. So you'll know what your tendencies are around the conditioning that you need to do, as well as your macros. So, if you're a naturally thin person, you've literally got to eat twice as much as somebody, for example, in your carbs, because you burn through it, right? So that would, a car metaphor, since I went down that road, a car metaphor would be somebody that drives a Hummer, not very efficient. You get what, 2 miles to a gallon, if that's a joke, but, or somebody that drives one of those mini cars. More efficient fuel-wise, and you can put a little bit of there and it still gets you to Bellingham, right? Same thing, is a lot of us are efficient at burning fuel, some of us are not. If you're an endomorph, you can't eat as much carbs as somebody that's an ectomorph. Why? Because you struggle with burning it. In fact, if you eat too many carbs, if you're an endomorph, or if you hold fat, typically, you're gonna end up having more fat or continuing to hold on to fat. So those 3 body types are something that you want to know. You want to absolutely have a determination of which one that you fall close to, or maybe you're in between. Here's the good news. You can improve or change that predisposition by becoming athletic, because you're changing your muscle, you're changing your strength, you're changing your abilities by making sure that you're in the right program with the right coach, and putting and implementing some programs that will help you become more athletic. I've now become an apple-shaped endomorph, and I'm now meso-endo because I'm more athletic. So I am able to now burn fat because I have more muscle mass.
Sure, absolutely. And we always hear about that. That's that EPOC, that excessive post-oxygen consumption. The burn rate goes up higher. And okay, well, that is some great information to start with. And again, we're going to post that webinar online. And you guys are I'm going to go on it as well and try to learn as much as I can, so that I can help out anyone that might not have time to look at it, or who maybe gets confused. We're going to be posting up Coach M's contact information online, so you guys can, if you need any personalized attention. I think that she's offering a deal right now for personalized coaching for macros. So if you guys are at all interested in that, you can reach out to her and discuss that with her. Anyway, I think that's enough for now, and we're going to post this up again. It's Sunday night, and good luck to everybody. Tomorrow's the beginning of your challenge, and make sure that you start the day off right. Do not put sugar in your coffee. All right. Okay, sounds good. Have a great night, and we'll get back to you guys throughout the week, okay?
You got this.
All right, let's do it. Bye.